Auburn Blitz is now on the air. Your daily look into what's happening in Auburn athletics. With your host, Andy Graham, Brett Pritchard, Randy Lee, War Eagle.
Hello, everybody, and welcome into the latest edition of the Auburn Blitz. Brett Pritchard and JJ here with you for your lunch break, and glad that you've joined us here for another edition of Auburn Blitz. Our program is brought to you by Mortgage Pro, the Eric McKinley team, Big Fish Real Estate Group at Lake Martin, Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply Stores, and now J.A. Smith Construction. Glad to have J.A. Smith Construction as part of our Auburn Blitz team here, and really appreciate them jumping on board, and we'll talk more about them as we move through, but glad to have really good corporate partners here on our Auburn Blitz program, and again, couldn't do it without them, couldn't do the show without you guys out there on Facebook Live that comment away throughout the program, also that catch us on Charter Cable throughout the state of Alabama. Our phone number is 256-234-6221 if you'd like to reach out and call us. We'd love to hear from you out there. A lot to talk about here, JJ, today. Good to see you as always, and Auburn, another one on the chin last night on the road to a very good Texas A&M team, but this was a game that Auburn let slip away. This is 2 in a row now. They've been on the road, had a chance to really bolster their ranking and bolster their resume, and they let them slip away. And, last night was no different. 83-78, had the lead coming down the stretch. Really looked like they'd kind of taken control. They held Radford in check for the most part. It wasn't a 30-point night like you had at Neville Arena a few weeks ago, so you felt good about it, but just dumb decisions, man. And look, I know I've seen it on Twitter. I've seen all the discrepancy in the free throws for them versus the free throws for Auburn. I mean, they shot 39, we shot 14. Just understand that that's part of being on the road in this league, and that's going to happen. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not giving the defense.
That crew that worked that game last night is kind of notorious for that.
Yeah.
When Alabama went to LSU earlier this year, the LSU shot 32 to Alabama's 11. That crew is notorious for the home team getting calls, man. And,
we need to get them down there Saturday.
That's right. Auburn did enough to win the game, Brett. They shot 37.5 from 3.
Right.
It's a good percentage.
Really one of the better. I mean, they made 9 threes.
Yeah, just 10 turnovers. It's not it wasn't an ugly game by Auburn. I'm gonna say this again. You and I talked about it outside. 30 seconds left in the game. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Wendell Green takes a fadeaway, heavily contested 25-foot 3 down by 2. And again, shot clock wasn't running out. I was watching it on and I'm like, why did he just shoot that?
Right.
I'm like, wait a minute, was the shot clock running down? I rewound it on the DVR just to see. There were 12 seconds on the shot clock. That ball's got to touch the paint, whether you're penetrating or kick out for a 3 if you want to or draw a foul. That ball's got to get inside the three-point line. You can't dribble outside from 25 and fade away contested 3 down by 2 with 30 seconds to go.
It goes right into what we were talking about. I mean, Wendell Green plays his rear end off, had 20 points last night, has the most minutes outside of Flanagan on the team night in and night out. But when it comes down to crunch time, it's the possession before he turned it over, sitting out dribbling it. He dribbled and dribbled and dribbled and dribbled and dribbled. And you know what happens when you just keep dribbling the air out of the ball? You're going to turn it over. I mean, good coaches talk about, either be moving toward the basket or get rid of the ball and get the ball back in motion. Don't just stand out there and dribble the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, and he did that. And in the next possession, he comes down and literally turns it over again, but it kicks out, I think, to Chris Moore in the corner who saved it and then gets it back to him. And then Auburn calls a timeout because Bruce Pearl says, look, they're discombobulated, they're out of whack. And then you call a timeout to go give the ball back to Wendell Green for him to shoot a 30-footer. I mean, it's fading away. So
if there was and look, I know that that's not the way Bruce Pearl wanted that possession to go. I guarantee you he didn't get over there and go, Wendell, We're going to try to set a couple of screens for you, but then I want you to shoot a fadeaway 3 from 25.
Yeah, it didn't come out of his mouth.
No. So, but again, that late game, it almost makes you want to take the ball out of his hands in late game situations.
Well, Auburn's, I said this last night, Luke and I were on Sportz Blitz, and the game was going on, and we were monitoring it. And the bottom line is this team doesn't have a leader. And Wendell Green may appear to be, if you had to name a guy, if you had to name a leader in title only, it would probably be Wendell Green. But outside of that, who is the real dog on this team that you go, when the chips are on the line, that's he's kind of gotten that role by default, but he's already shown that he can't handle the pressure a lot of times.
You would like for it to be Broom.
You would like for it to be Broom, and that's what Randy says there. He said, too many threes in final minutes. These games, not enough Broom. Look, he had 18 points last night on 28 minutes, 10 rebounds. He had another double-double.
He's a difference maker,
He forces things to happen inside.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. Wendell Green out there dribbling around, all that is running clock, and the defense is dropping back going, hey, man, I know they contested
it. He
it.
doesn't make enough progress towards the basket, right?
Right. And now –
if you're gonna dribble around out there, it needs to be trying to catch a screen so you can penetrate and make something happen.
And I will give Wendell Green credit. He's good at getting to the basket.
Yeah.
And I think he forces a lot of things. But when the chips, when you got to have a shot at the end of the game, more times than not, he does what he did last night.
Right.
And again, you played a good enough game on the road to win it. And I think it's an important game in the whole resume. Auburn's now 17-7, but they got swept by A&M. A&M 17-7. They're 9-2 in the league. Their out-of-conference schedule was terrible. But as we come down the stretch, and let's just say Auburn can't get things really rolling, and they end up kind of mediocre in this thing out at the end, and it's between A&M and Auburn, I hate to tell everybody, but A&M's probably going to get the nod.
A&M in the bracketology yesterday coming into that game was listed as first 4 out.
That's right.
I bet they won't be next week. They won't be first 4 out next week.
And Luke and I looked at their remaining schedule, and here's the thing. There's not a guaranteed loss on the schedule for A&M. Right. And that's including Alabama, because Alabama's got to go out there.
That's right.
And so this schedule is extremely favorable for Texas A&M to maybe only end up with 2 losses in the conference. I mean, I think realistically they'll lose another one or maybe 2 and end up with a 3 or 4 loss record in SEC play, but they literally could run the table. This team is getting better, and they show a lot of grit, and they seem to figure out ways to win like they did last night when it looked like Auburn was going to win the game. So, you know what?
Whereas Auburn's got to play Alabama twice, at Kentucky, home against Tennessee.
Now, Arkansas just
Missouri.
went up to Kentucky last night and blew their doors off. Now, Arkansas is getting better. This is traditional Eric Musselman type basketball. We hit February, but we're going to start playing.
Yeah.
January and then preseason, y'all might beat us. But by the time we get to February and into March, we're going to be all dialed in and tuned in. And they went to Kentucky last night and just wore them out. I mean, 88-73 in Rupp Arena. We'll talk more about that. But Auburn is getting in a dangerous situation here. And I'm not saying they're going to miss the tournament, but I'm saying that their schedule is tough. And if they don't have some impressive wins, they need to beat Alabama Saturday, maybe now more than ever. They need to figure out a way to beat Tennessee at home and not get swept by them. This is a great year for them to go on the road and beat a Kentucky. They ain't beat them since in the 80s.
Right.
So here's a golden opportunity. You still have plenty of opportunities to impress a committee, get some quality quad one victories and get in and build your resume back up. But if you go through this and you limp through the last 7 games on the schedule, you may be on the outside looking in.
And Auburn came into last night in the bracketology, in the predictive thing anyway, as a 6 seed. I don't, after, like you said, you got to see what happens down the stretch. There's opportunities on the schedule.
Right.
But you got to take advantage of those. You can't come down these last 7, go 3 and 4.
Yeah, it's not going to be a good look.
Yeah.
Kind of going back through the box score last night, they got the production that they need. You got 12 out of Flanagan, you got 12 out of Williams, you got a good night out of Broome at 18. Wendell Green put 20 in. KD had 5. Jasper, that's 6 found points there. You might as well. He's been a 0 on the offensive stat line the last few weeks. Leor Berman comes in, adds a 3 in the corner. I thought Cardinal, whereas it wasn't many points, really was a force inside, had some blocks, and caused some problems for Texas A&M down on the blocks. They got production up and down the lineup like they needed to come out of Texas A&M with a win, and it just didn't happen. And so, again, they look back on this. Auburn's now lost 4 of their last 5. When was the last time that happened?
It's been a minute. Yeah.
They've struggled. That one lone victory came at home against Georgia, a team that they're much better than. They did get a little revenge on that, but they've dropped some tough ones. And losing to West Virginia in a close one, and then turning around and losing this one last night in a close one, and then losing that rock fight in Knoxville this past weekend. Auburn's got to figure out a way to finish these games. Playing good teams on the resume going, well, they lost 4 games by a combined total of 9 points to quad 1. That don't count.
No.
You don't get.
It's a quad 1 win or a quad 1 loss.
That's right. Doesn't matter how close you were. So. Comments coming through. We'll take your calls as well. We'll get to those when we come back from the break. Stay tuned. More Auburn Blitz right after this.
The interstate is backed up this morning due to an accident.
So you don't like sitting still on the interstate? Get the free Algo traffic app. With Algo, you'll have the information you need to avoid problems on your route to work, to home, to the beach. Traffic backups, wrecks, lane closures, all with current info and live traffic camera feeds. Know before you go with Algo Traffic, ALGO Traffic from the Alabama Department of Transportation. Get it today and arrive on time.
Lake Martin Garage, located on Highway 280 in Jackson's Gap, has been serving our area since 1993. From routine maintenance such as oil changes, tune-ups, and rotating and balancing your tires, to transmission and engine repair, our trained and certified mechanics will get you back on the road better than before. Need a tow? With a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week towing service, Lake Martin Garage has local and long-range pickup. Trust your vehicle needs to the professionals at Lake Martin Garage. Call 256-825-6139, or better yet, stop in and see them today. Lake Martin Garage.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill and Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
The Eric McKinley team at Mortgage Pro in Alexander City is the perfect lender for all your mortgage needs. Property values have increased and interest rates have never been so low. So if you haven't looked at refinancing your house in the last 6 to 12 months, Mortgage Pro is here to help you take advantage of that. Our team is closing loans in 15 days or less, so give us a call at 256-397-0248 and let our team go to work for you today.
Don't be caught in a dirty vehicle. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing will have your vehicle or boat looking like brand new in no time, and you'll be back driving in style. They specialize in detailing, paint correction, gel coat restoration, and ceramic coating. Take it to the professionals at Lake Martin Mobile Detailing. Call them today at 256-794-2328 or stop by and see them at 702 McCarty Road in Dadeville. Mention this ad and receive $10 off. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing for your cleanest vehicles around.
Lee Apparel is your go-to vendor for screen printed and embroidered apparel and promotional products. We print and embroider free custom-made graphics or outsourced designs on everything from t-shirts, headwear, corporate wear, team sportswear, high-end safety apparel, and promotional products. At Lee Apparel, you can always expect quick turnaround time, competitive pricing, friendly customer service, and free in-hands delivery on all orders. Visit us at leeapparel.com to get started.
Skag, the toughest name in lawnmowers. Unmatched quality and performance for over 3 decades. The clear choice, the best mower money can buy for work or at home. Top lawn care professionals and discerning homeowners know that Skag means productivity and reliability. Every Skag mower is proudly built right here in the USA. Don't settle for anything less than simply the best. Skag.
Satterfield Outdoor Living on Highway 280 in Alex City.
J.A. Smith Construction, with 19 years experience, is your trusted choice for construction. Site clearing and grading for new home construction, basement excavation, concrete paving, storm drain installation, fish ponds, and slough dredging. No job is too big or too small. Call Alexander at J.A. Smith Construction at 334-531-0199 or email asmith@jasmithconstruct.com. J.A. Smith Construction, your trusted choice for construction.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Brett Pritchard, JJ, Jeff Coate here with you for your lunch break. And again, appreciate everybody joining us. A lot of comments rolling in. David said, you're spot on, JJ, that shot, not the shot and not the time to do it. So Ty says those refs were determined to foul out Broome. They call a foul on him. It looked like Williams fouling, and Broome's 5th foul was cheap. Auburn might be in a danger zone. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about that. David said smart move by Buzz. Broome comes back on the floor with 4 fouls, and Buzz calls 3 straight plays at the rim to Marble, and he scored on all 3. Ty said Auburn's losses, seems like one player has beaten them, and I ran that down the last week. You know, at the time when Auburn had 5 losses, every one of those losses had a guy that went for 27 plus. And so namely it was, a bigger guard, more physical guard that was able to elevate and be able to hit some threes outside and then able to put it on the floor and drive. But at the end of the day, Auburn's sitting here now. Again, the biggest problem is trying to get this thing back on track, losing 4 out of 5. They're still in good shape to make the NCAA tournament, but like you and I just talked about, they can't limp coming down the stretch, and they can't go 3 and 4.
There is a big difference going the tournament as a 6 seed and going the tournament as a 10 or 11.
No doubt.
There's a big difference there. And that, I think, is what these last 7 games are going to determine. I think Auburn can still go in as a 6 seed. Who knows? Get hot in the SEC tournament and make a 5 seed.
That's right.
But
and that's what they were when they went to the Final Four. This is not the same team by any stretch. Yeah. But your analysis is correct. You know, you get positioned in the 5 or 6 spot, your opportunities are a lot greater than if you're 11 or 12.
And you limp down the stretch 3 and 4. 1 and done in the SEC tournament, and then you're probably going in as a 10-11.
That's exactly right. So kind of see around the conference last night, again, Ole Miss, man, bad loss for Georgia. Georgia at home, really trying to get the program to another level.
You literally lose to the worst team.
You can't do that at home. Yeah. You can't. You took 14 steps backwards with that loss last night. South Carolina's horrible. They go to Missouri and they lose 83-74. Actually, probably a little closer than I thought, if you want to be honest about it. And then the surprise, Arkansas just laid the wood to Kentucky last night, 88-73. This team really would be scary if they had Brazile back and the other kid, name slips my mind, but they're basically their 2 best players have been out. And
Arkansas is a really bad matchup for this Kentucky team.
Very.
Because they're fast And they're long and they're flyers, and
that's not good for.
That's not Kentucky's game this year. Kentucky's got to slow the game down a little bit.
They'll match up.
And Arkansas is hard to slow down.
Yeah, they are. And I mean, that's a big win for Auburn. That's the only time they played Arkansas this year. It's at home. They were able to. They never trailed in that game. Auburn led from wire to wire, and it was one of their better games played. It just shows you that this Auburn team, this whole thing could look different with a shot or two here in the last few weeks. If Stevenson didn't burn the nets off the goals at West Virginia, Auburn probably wins that. But you can't play a half of basketball.
Right.
They were down 15. You spent the entire second half crawling out of a hole. And then you come back and you had a great opportunity against the number 2 team in the country. They were not shooting the ball well. You weren't either. But you got to find a way to get in there. Instead, the crowd was out of the game.
Yeah.
So now it's between you two trying to figure out who's going to not be as ugly as the other team. And Auburn had a chance in that game, and they just could not capitalize when they needed to. And then now, again, last night, had a chance to get some revenge, go back to A&M, kind of pay them back for ending the 28-game winning streak at home, and had golden opportunities there in the second half to put them away and just couldn't do it.
Yep. One of those tough things. I mean, but it's basketball, and momentum is so important in college basketball. And if you get rolling,
it is. I mean, you can flip it and really get going. Like last year, Auburn was number 1 in the country, and then they fizzled.
Yep.
On the flip side, you can kind of go through a tough stretch now, and then get on a hot streak leading in the tournament and end up with a better run than last year's team, which was much more talented.
Well, and that's the thing, people talk about peaking too early, right? Well, what is too early? If you're playing well early in the season, doesn't mean you're peaking too early.
Right.
You could still go through a slump mid-season,
right,
and then hit tournament time and get hot. And that's really good teams that get hot are teams that make the Final Four. You got to be good. You can't be trash.
Right.
But if good teams that get hot, those are teams that make the Final Four.
Playing their best basketball, and it's almost similar to that in baseball, making it to the College World Series. Auburn has proven that last year. Went to Oregon State and won that super regional. And Oregon, I don't think anybody gave Auburn a lot of a chance to go to Corvallis and win it. They go up there and they grind out 2 wins, and all of a sudden you're looking at, you're out in Omaha in the College World Series. So tonight's slate, not very impressive. It's Tennessee at Vanderbilt, although that could be tricky. Tennessee not playing well right now.
Vanderbilt's one of those teams. They're better than their record. They really are.
Right.
Vanderbilt, to me, does not look like a terrible basketball team. But, their record is the record. They are what they are. But they're, 3-5, I think.
Yeah, but this is they lose to Florida. They come back home, should have lost if anybody else is shooting halfway decent, they lose that game.
Yeah.
So they do squeak out a win, but now they go to a tough place, and it's always a weird venue, and they're not shooting the ball very well, JJ. Their offense is not very good. They still play great defense, but they're vulnerable because shots aren't falling.
They're a great defensive team, but I just wonder if they've got enough offense to do what people think they can do this year.
And I don't think so. I don't feel like it. LSU at Mississippi State, and then Florida at Alabama. We'll talk about some more of that, and we'll dive into some football here when we come back. Stay tuned. More of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice. Bice Motors.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
When you need an automotive hero, you got to call S&S Discount Tire Pros. With locations in Alexander City and Dayville, we are here to serve you today. From quick services like oil changes and tire rotations to in-depth automotive repairs such as suspensions, brakes, and tune-ups, S&S can take care of all your tire needs. You just have to focus on what's important and love the drive. Call S&S Discount Tire Pros today. We are automotive heroes, and we are here to serve you.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau Tritoons, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com.
Country Clipper zero-turn mowers are designed for comfort, accessibility, and ease of use. Only Country Clipper offers your choice of steering options with industry-exclusive joystick steering or twin lever steering. Their patented stand-up deck, standard on every model, allows for quick access to the underside of the deck for routine maintenance. With a wide front step and optional handrail, getting on or off your mower has never been easier. Stop by Fun Carts of Opelika today for a test drive. Country Clipper mowers, designed for you. Fun Carts of Opelika, located at 618 Lee Road, 113 in Opelika, Alabama.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our Best Rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
No monthly payments for 120 days at Glenn Smith Chevrolet in Opelika. Check out the powerful new Chevrolet Silverado 4-wheel drive crew cabs, discounted up to $7,500 off. The midsize Chevrolet Malibus up to $5,250 off. Shop online anytime at glennsmith.com. That's GLYNN Smith.com.
We have over 200 new and used vehicles on the ground or on the way. Get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz here halfway through the program. Our program brought to you by Mortgage Pro there at McKinley Team, Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply Stores, Big Fish Real Estate Group at Lake Martin, and J.A. Smith Construction. Glad to have J.A. Smith Construction on now. Eric McKinley and his staff at Mortgage Pro saving people thousands of dollars on refinancing, on financing your home. They're there to help. And, interest rates are up a little bit, but they're still way down comparable to where they have been in the past. So opportunities are still out there, and they're still helping people every single day. So make sure you check them out if you need some real estate help or you need some refinancing there. JJ, let's go back and talk about real quick Florida and Alabama tonight. on ESPN2. This Florida team's kind of Jekyll and Hyde. Luke and I talked about it last night. You know, the reason I bring up Alabama is they're still undefeated. They're still sitting there. Barring a slip-up, it looks like they'll win the conference. But tonight's a game that if they were to not play well, like they played against Mississippi State the other night and almost lose, it could throw a wrench in things.
Well, and keep in mind, they've still got to go to Tennessee this year. They go to Auburn Saturday.
Right.
There's some tough games down the stretch. Andy asked me last week what I thought, maybe the week before, what I thought a reasonable expectation for Alabama finishing their season is. And I thought maybe two losses
16
in
and
conference,
2.
something like
2.
that.
Yeah.
When you get through the first half of the season undefeated, I think anything less than 7-2 down the stretch, you'd probably be disappointed.
Right.
This is one of those games where you got to take care of business. It's a team you should beat, and you're playing at home.
Yeah, 10-0 right now, and again, Castleton played really well the other night against Tennessee, and was one of the big reasons that they were able to win that game. So I believe we got a phone call for the first time this afternoon. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, go ahead.
Yeah, Brett, this is James.
What's up, James? What's up, brother?
Birmingham. JJ, how you doing, buddy?
Good, buddy. How are you?
Oh, pretty good, I guess. Hey, I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
This White, his last name's White, the quarterback.
Right.
Where is he from?
He's from Arkansas.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah, he's the number 8 quarterback in the country, the number 1 player in Arkansas in the 24 class. Walker White's who you're alluding to. Big pickup this past week for looking at it from a standpoint of only being in on him since December the 20th. I thought Hugh Freeze and that staff put the full court press on. It really was Clemson's guy to lose, and they did. They lost him. It was Auburn jumping in late. He narrowed it down to Clemson and Baylor and Auburn. Everybody felt like he was just throwing Auburn in there as a courtesy because Auburn got in late. He did like it, but he felt like, he was going to end up at Clemson. But then things started trending that week, last week, toward, man, maybe there's more to it than this. And he's really talking up Auburn. He really liked his visit down there. And then all of a sudden he announces, and let me tell you something. I watched the press conference. As polished of a kid as you'll want in your program. And the way he handled himself and the way he gave praise to his family and his friends and his school, and talked about recruiting other kids to come and play with him at Auburn. He's just what you want. And, of course, he's got all the tools. He's 6'4", weighs 215, 220 pounds, got a rocket for an arm, really, really good-looking good kid as far as from the quarterback position. So Auburn picked up a massive quarterback commitment.
That's kind of what I've been hearing, and I've been a little bit under the weather, so I just missed a little of it. But that makes me feel pretty good.
Well, it's good to hear from you, James. Glad you feeling a little bit better today.
Oh yeah, well you just made me feel better. I won't have to burp any for a while. But anyway, y'all have a good day.
Thank you, James. Appreciate it so much. And Hugh Freeze is. And it's a good segue. We wanted to go into this.
It's one of the things we'll talk about, I'm sure, as football season gets closer. But you mentioned, thought it was Clemson's to lose. They did lose it. Right. Are we entering a phase where Dabo Swinney could be in a little trouble?
I'm feeling it. And I don't think the program's going to collapse. I mean, no. Clemson's in the ACC. I still think they're going to be in the hunt every year. But we saw a little bit maybe a fall off this year. Mm-hmm. It wasn't the type Clemson team that we've been used to seeing. They just signed Chris Vazina from Briarwood's a good-looking kid. Mm-hmm. He's a high 4-star, 5-star on some services. Auburn was in on him. Thought Auburn missed out on a great opportunity to land a great in-state quarterback.
But I don't know if he's a Trevor Lawrence type.
No, I don't think so.
Deshaun Watson.
He's not. He's not. I think that had a lot to do with Walker White looking at who's going to be starting next year for Clemson.
Right.
Then Chris Vazina possibly, and he's sitting there going, "Look, man, I know the Auburn quarterback.
I don't mind competing, but dang,
exactly."
Yeah.
And so, but I do think you bring up a good point about Dabo and in the shift. And I think Hugh Freeze, JJ, and I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. I think him being back in this league, him understanding the landscape, he recruited pretty well at Ole Miss in a place that doesn't have the facilities and the resources that Auburn or in Alabama or anybody would have. He's already showing that Auburn's not sitting on the sideline anymore. Auburn took a 2-year hiatus with Brian Harsin.
If the people most upset about what Hugh Freeze is doing, I don't think it's Alabama and Georgia, at least not yet.
Right.
But if you're Arkansas,
Ole
Miss,
even
LSU, right?
Absolutely,
and you're going
even Tennessee.
Hey, here's another dadgum player I got to.
Auburn was out of the mix last year.
Yeah.
I guess just everybody took a vacay.
Yeah.
Heck, he just propped up. Recruiting.
Yeah.
Do that. You mean players just don't show up?
Yeah.
And so now you got a guy that knows what he's doing. He knows how to go out. Auburn's going to be in the mix for all these top recruits, and they're going to get their fair share because they're going to put the full court press on.
If Auburn's running like it should run, then Auburn is a 9-10 win, perennial top 25 team that can jump up and win a title
every so often.
Here and there. Yeah.
That's right. I'm with you.
I
think you summed that up
Hugh
about as well
Freeze
as you
can
can.
put it. I think Hugh Freeze can put
position it
in the next 2 to 3 years. We'll get it in that role.
I totally agree. Working his tail off right now to get that roster up and kind of fill out some of those holes that were left by the previous.
Man, there were some holes left by that previous step.
Bombs, big holes. All right, up against another break. Stay tuned. More Auburn Blitz right after this.
J.A. Smith Construction, with 19 years experience, is your trusted choice for construction. Site clearing and grading for new home construction, basement excavation, concrete paving, storm drain installation, fish ponds, and slough dredging. No job is too big or too small. Call Alexander at J.A. Smith Construction at 334-531-0199 or email asmith@jasmithconstruct.com. J.A. Smith Construction, your trusted choice for construction.
Grain and Leaf, located at 6068 Highway 63 South, is Lake Martin's premier boutique-style bottle shop with a unique array of sophistication for everyone. Appropriately named for its exclusive selection of top spirits, wine, and craft beer, Grain and Leaf also has a number of fine cigars for you to choose from. They also carry the full line of Hornsby Farms assorted jellies and pottery. Open 10 to 7 Monday through Saturday and noon to 5 on Sundays, Grain and Leaf is your premier shop in the Lake Martin area.
LMG Ad Agency is the go-to vendor for all your digital and print marketing needs. We have in-house production for all projects, including graphic design, web design, social media marketing, videography, and print marketing. Our video production is up to industry standard with modern 4K cameras and drone capabilities. We pride ourselves in client-committed relationships, and every project is personalized to your needs. Visit lmgadagency.com for a free quote today. Let us tell your story.
EnviroCare is the standard in East Central Alabama for all your pest control and termite needs. EnviroCare exclusively offers Centricon termite colony elimination system that is the industry's most effective termite control to protect your home year-round. The EnviroCare team's service is also the standard for our customers. From eliminating home pests to superior termite control, nobody cares like EnviroCare, serving Lake Martin and East Central Alabama. Folks around these parts have known for a long time that Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is your #1 stop for automotive service and repair. At Walls Tire, you'll always find quality service at a fair price on everything from AC, name brand tires, big or small repairs, routine maintenance, towing, and more. When your car or truck needs to run right, there's one place in the area to go, conveniently located and easy to find. Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
The Eric McKinley team at Mortgage Pro in Alexander City is the perfect lender for all your mortgage needs. Property values have increased and interest rates have never been so low. So if you haven't looked at refinancing your house in the last 6 to 12 months, Mortgage Pro is here to help you take advantage of that. Our team is closing loans in 15 days or less, so give us a call at 256-397-0248 and let our team go to work for you today.
For more than 40 years, Ingram Equipment Company has helped companies, towns, and cities with their dirtiest, most challenging jobs by providing the very best equipment and by helping them keep in tip-top working condition. IEC represents leading manufacturers such as Heil garbage truck bodies, Timco sweepers, Step pothole patchers, and many more. We proudly support all athletes and teams that compete across the state and wish them good luck this year. Ingram Equipment Company, ingramequipment.net.
WAXC TV3's Basketball Game of the Week is presented by Glenn Smith Chevrolet Buick GMC on the Columbus Parkway in Opelika. Get ready to smile. Catch game replays on WAXC TV3 and on our Roku app. Games replay Monday and Friday at 8 p.m. and also Saturday and Sunday at 6:30. Catch the replays of these games airing now from Glenn Smith Chevrolet Buick GMC in Opelika and WAXC TV3.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. A couple segments left in today's show. Give us a call, 256-234-6221, if you'd like to be part of the program. That way you can comment away on Facebook Live. We'd love to hear from you there. Ron Roberts, the new defensive coordinator for Hugh Freeze, and as we talk about here, Andy has a little bit of segment here about the outside linebackers coach for the first time really not having a designated outside linebackers coach there. Jeremy Garrett's the defensive line coach for Auburn. So you don't really have anybody on those edges to kind of come in with Derek Hall, Kobe Wooden, EQ Leota exiting stage left. I know there's going to be a revamp on that, but Garrett comes over from Liberty. He handles the true interior part of the defensive line. He will base a 3-4 scheme. Was a really high pick. A lot of people talking about him and his tutelage, and of course, it wasn't a shock that Hugh Freeze brings a few guys over from Liberty that he's comfortable bringing in. But linebackers coach Josh Aldridge will be the second level guy. Ron Roberts will coach the pass rush and outside linebackers. He'll kind of take that on as that role. But I think this defense has a chance to be pretty good. JJ, looking at the roster coming back, I know there's some holes, but there are some pieces that are coming in, and I thought Hugh Freeze went out, and if some of those guys from the transfer portal are able to plug in and play immediately, I think Auburn's going to be really good in the secondary. If they can shore up their linebacking core, this could be a pretty good defense.
Yeah, and you gotta go back a little bit to remember Freeze at Ole Miss. But one thing he wants to do defensively, it's not it's anything but bend but don't break. It's very similar to what Tennessee does, right? They want to be disruptive, and and just create problems for opposing offenses.
Right.
Yeah, you might give up some yards and points. You might give up a big play.
But I think that's expected in this day and age of football now.
Yeah,
You're not going to shut somebody down.
But you want to be disruptive. You want balls to be batted down at the line, and,
right?
And quarterbacks having to be flushed out and thrown into coverage. You want to disrupt the offense more than shut it down. Right? It's a different look. But I would, 3-4 scheme kind of lends itself to that anyway. So. That's what you're looking to do.
Well, you look at it from a standpoint of, again, in the back end of the defense, Auburn returned some veterans back there. I think it'll be shored up. Still got some new guys coming in. I think it's going to even add to that. So really coming in, you're going to look at that defense as maybe your staple, and we'll see how it plays out in the spring. On the offensive side of the football, this should probably save one guy is going to be a brand new offensive line.
Do you have an expectation for spring, right? When you're watching the A-Day game, do you have an expectation for that? Because I really don't. I expect it to be a whole lot of experimentation.
I think so. You don't have but a few days, really, when you look at it. Spring practice spread over a few weeks to get ready. A-Day is April the 8th, so, it'll be right around the corner. But I think what you're going to look at, and what I think I'm going to look at more, is an organized effort standpoint. Does Auburn look like a team that goes out on the field and guys know what they're doing? And I know it's a very limited amount of time you're going to have new guys in there, but I think you're going to look at effort too. I think you're going to look at some guys that are hungry, that are fighting for positions, which we haven't seen in a while. And I think Auburn, from a standpoint of some of the guys that Hugh Freeze was able to go out and bring in that are going to be able to come in and contribute right now in this spring, you're going to see a level of play that's been greater than what we've seen in the last couple of years.
Like I said, I don't think I'm expecting like a well-oiled machine
No,
or anything like that.
I don't think so either.
Oh, boy, that offense looks great.
I don't think it's
gonna be
important
that.
for Robbie Ashford to separate himself a little bit.
No, I agree with that. Yeah, you would like for that to happen because you'd like to go in the fall knowing who your guy is.
Right.
You would really like to, especially first year.
What can Holden Garner do? That I think, he's the elephant in the room sitting over here. It's a high 4-star quarterback that really only came in for a few plays this past year when Ashford went down. And then you look at him and his tool set kind of fits what Hugh Freeze likes, like like the kid that Auburn just signed from or just got a commitment from Arkansas. So this could be an opportunity for Holden Garner to vault himself up.
Sure.
As maybe the guy.
And it'll be interesting to watch how the two quarterbacks perform in the spring, and that those two especially. I think it's going to be one of those two, right?
TJ Finley. Can we please allow that ship to sail on out to sea?
It's going to be one of those two, but I do think Garrett will be an interesting one to watch in the spring, and especially in the game. Does he look comfortable? Is he on time? Right. That's a big thing with Robbie Ashford a lot. There's immense potential in Robbie Ashford.
Massive.
But can you be on time? Right? On time, on schedule.
I think the injury last year was worse than people thought. And again, I was as guilty as anybody on this program of pounding Robbie Ashford and maybe the offense of dialing it in and saying, why is he not throwing the ball more? We know he can throw the ball. Why do we look like an offense that is in a lower classification high school somewhere where we're going to run it 50 times a game and throw it 5.
Right.
Go back to the old 1970s wishbone type of wing T type offense. It was because he was nursing a bung shoulder. Yeah. And at the end of the day, they were trying to do all they could do to scope an offense and shape an offense around what he could do, and that's run. And even when Auburn basically was telling another team, we're going to run the football, they still were successful about that. So if he is fully healthy, he is able to do some things better in the passing game. Robbie Ashford could be a dark horse in this league next year.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think because when you watch him play, all the tools are there.
He's a big kid, too.
Yeah, every tool is there. And he seems to have a really competitive nature, which I think is good.
I do, too.
But the question is, can he learn the quarterback position on time?
That's
on
right.
schedule?
And Hugh Freeze just said at the Alabama Coaches Association conference a few weeks ago, he said, I coach the quarterback room extremely hard. He said, I don't know if these guys know what they're about to experience, but we're going to find out.
Right.
So he sends a message. Real quick before we go to break, Ty said, I don't think a high school team would hire Brian.
Not my high school.
Not mine either. So stay tuned. Final break of the show coming up right after this.
Tails are wagging and pets are bragging about Zoom to Groom. Columbus, Phoenix City, and Smith Station. Zoom to Groom comes to you. It's mobile pet grooming from the comfort of your driveway. Schedule your appointment now online at zoomtogroom.net or by phone at 334-740-9909.
76% of nurses say they went into the profession because they wanted to help patients. No matter the reason you decided to become a nurse, you have all the tools needed to advance your degree at Jacksonville State University. Our Master's in Nursing program is now offered fully online and can be completed in less than 2 years. You can customize a flexible course schedule so you can receive your advanced education degree all while working on the front line. JSU Nursing, your opportunity to advance your career and serve your community.
At CNT Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elk City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs, or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
Something big is coming. Something so big, it'll change the world of chicken sandwiches. Zaxby's new signature sandwich with Zax sauce or new spicy Zax sauce. Because the chicken sandwich war ain't over yet. The new signature sandwich. All the other little sandwiches can run along. We'll take it from here.
OGS Tournaments. Russell Marine and State Farm agent Aaron Warren present Crank for Bank 2023, April 1st through July 4th. Win over $1.5 million in cash and prizes. Over 200 tag bass and 50 tag crappie are waiting on you. All ages are welcome. Fish from the dock, boat, or shores of Lake Martin. Get registered now online at crankforbank.com for only $110 for 13 weeks of fishing. It's Crank for Bank 2023.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our Best Rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Attention! Have you or a loved one been diagnosed with cancer after using Zantac or other heartburn medications for several months? You may be entitled to compensation. Call Zantac Justice now for a free legal case review. The FDA has warned that Zantac and other medications containing heartburn drug ranitidine may be contaminated with cancer-causing agent NDMA. Consult your physician prior to discontinuing any use of medication.
Please call 800-379-5986.
Tails are wagging and pets are bragging about Zoom to Groom. Columbus, Phoenix City, and Smith Station. Zoom to Groom comes to you. It's mobile pet grooming from the comfort of your driveway. Schedule your appointment now online at zoomtogroom.net or by phone at 334-740-9909.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you're about to hear is true, and the names have been changed because Brubaker Motors has sold to Sons Automotive. You heard right. Brubaker Kia is now Sons Kia of Montgomery. Furthermore, Sons Automotive is a family business with dealerships throughout the Southeast. The name Sons Automotive is synonymous with trust, and they care about the communities they're a part of. They're excited to serve the River region, and in the interest of justice, you will be served a sentence of big savings. Sons Kia of Montgomery, family owned, family driven.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz final segment here on the program. Again, thanks to Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply Stores, Mortgage Pro there at McKinley Team, Big Fish Real Estate Group at Lake Martin, and J.A. Smith Construction. Again, couldn't do the program without them. Glad to have J.A. Smith Construction on board now as one of our partners. And again, thanks to all of you out there that tune us in every single day. We do the show for you and love hearing from you out there, whether it be by phone or comment on Facebook Live. And also want to remind everybody you can find us on YouTube as well. So go out there and find our YouTube channel. You can tune us in right there. Make sure you go out there and subscribe and build that up. Help us out there. So a little on this day in 1963, JJ, the AFL's Dallas Texans become who? The Kansas City Chiefs.
The Kansas City
Chiefs. Who happen to be in the Super Bowl again. It's coming up Sunday. So.
Yeah.
All right, so real
Should
quick.
be a fun one.
I got to get your take on the Super Bowl because doubtful you and I'll be on a show together between now and then. Should be fun, like you said, two dynamic quarterbacks. Let's see how healthy Patrick Mahomes is, but Jalen Hurts has just continued to defy all odds, all the naysayers, and keeps overachieving, and has himself positioned in the Eagles' position to
I think
win.
Philadelphia is better than Kansas City overall, right?
Top to bottom.
I think
top to
Philadelphia,
bottom, I agree.
Both lines of scrimmage, I think they're a little better. But here's the problem. Patrick Mahomes can do things that nobody else can do.
That's right.
And he doesn't have to have a team that's equal to yours.
That's right.
And so you can do everything right.
And
then
still get beat.
And then he buys a little time like he did in the AFC Championship game on a bad leg. And
he does
flat-footed, throws a 25-yard touchdown that doesn't get more than 10 feet off the ground.
Or turns around and throws it behind his back, or does some kind of crazy stuff.
I want to say Philadelphia in a close one, but then I think to myself, if it's close, is Mahomes even going to let them lose? So I don't know. But right now I would say Philadelphia in a close one.
Here's the thing with Patrick Mahomes. He's won one Super Bowl and lost one. Everybody, all the experts say when Tom Brady steps aside, he's taking the mantle as the next. Now, the league's full of really good young quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Burrow, Patrick Mahomes. All right, at what point you keep going there? Got to start winning. He's 1-1.
Yep.
If he loses another one, again, people start going, can he get back there again? Can he do?
What made Brady was the fact that not only did he keep getting there, but he won a lot more than he lost.
He won 7 of 10.
Yeah. So
first of all, just to say that
10.
is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But 7 of 10, and they weren't all because of him. The Seattle game, that was a guy making a play at the goal line. You can go back through and look at a lot of different things, but the Atlanta game was him. Coming from behind 28.
Well, and the thing is, no quarterbacks ever won a Super Bowl just by themselves.
No, of course not.
But with Brady, it just felt like when you needed it, you were going to get it.
He made a play.
And that's kind of the way I feel like Mahomes. But now, again, I'm picking Philadelphia just because I think they're a little better. But I can't trust.
It
that
just seems like it.
him.
Well, it seems like it's trending that way.
Yeah.
That if everything's equal, and again, Mahomes is going to make some plays, but at the end of the day, they're the better team, and a lot of times the better
and
team.
Jalen Hurts is a miracle of development. That guy has come further,
and he's going to make plays
over the last 5 years
he's gonna make
than
his
anybody
own,
I've ever seen.
He's going to make his own set of plays. So.
Yeah.
1986 on this day, 5'7" Spud Webb wins the NBA dunk contest. I remember it.
Yeah.
Just like it was yesterday.
Yeah, me too.
So
the fact that he could even dunk it,
I think that's why they gave it to him.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, nobody else tried. So, we're going to go ahead and give it to the 5'7" guy. All right, this day in 1996, the NFL in Cleveland allow Art Modell to move his franchise to Baltimore. They had to leave the Browns name behind. And like you said in the break, of course you leave the Browns name behind. You can't leave. You got to have the Browns in Cleveland.
You can't. It's hard to, like I told you during the break, it's hard for me to even imagine an NFL without a Cleveland Browns. And it's not like they're the greatest franchise of all time either. Historically, they've been, below average.
Yeah, they have.
But
devoted fan base.
Cleveland Browns had the dog pound. That's right. All that stuff. Yeah.
So there's you a few on this day. Let's look at some happy birthdays. We'll go down through here. Do you know Classy Freddie Blassie?
Let me say this, and I've told Andy this before. I know no professional wrestlers. If you say the name Hulk Hogan, I'll know who that is.
Right, Andre the Giant.
Outside of that, I don't know. So,
never have heard of Classy Freddie Blassie.
Apparently, he's a wrestler.
Born on this day in 1918. Passed away in 2003. Bruce Smith, obviously not the Bruce Smith that played at Buffalo.
Correct.
Hall of Fame running back from Minnesota. Won the 41 Heisman, born on this day in 19.
We forget that Minnesota was once a college football powerhouse.
Very very good college program. We'll shift on down through here. Born this day in 1931, James Dean, pretty famous actor.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Born this day 1932, John Williams. You know who John Williams is? Composed the film scores for Jaws, Star Wars, Indiana Jones, E.T., Harry Potter, the list goes on, man. A guy can write some music.
Yeah.
Good Lord, man. John Williams, one of the most famous composers out there. Nick Nolte, you a big fan of him?
You know, I like Nick Nolte because I like so many of the movies he's been in.
Right.
What were the ones he did with Eddie Murphy in the 80s?
Yeah.
I won't say Beverly Hills Cop.
No, it's not Beverly Hills Cop. What is the name? I don't.
Killing me.
The basketball movie, Blue Chip.
Blue Chip,
Yeah,
North Dallas 40.
North Dallas 40.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Yeah.
why can we not think of that movie in the 80s? I know. I'm looking at it. Why can't
We
I?
ain't partners, we ain't friends. I can quote lines from it, but I can't think of the name.
All right, here's some more here. Alonzo Mourning, Zoe, Georgetown, and of course the Charlotte Hornets. The Big Show, 1972. Actually, another wrestler.
Another wrestler, yeah.
Marcus Pollard, Colts tight end from Lynette, Alabama, born on this day in 1972. Julio Jones, born this day, 1989. Alabama great. Now, looks like he may be coming toward the end of his career.
I'm surprised we hadn't heard a retirement announcement, but I think he probably wants to do one more.
Yeah, one more run.
Yeah.
Bethany Hamilton, last one, 1990. Pro surfer, had her arm bitten off by a shark. So
it's one of my biggest fears, man. That's why I do not. I mean, I'll get in the water up to about right here.
They can get in that kind of water.
I know they can, but I feel like I can run away. So
that's going to wrap it up for this edition of the Auburn Blitz. For JJ, I'm Brett saying we've enjoyed it. We'll be. I'll see you next time.